I don't know. Like, is there anything that produces income that you will do zero work and it will produce you returns for a significant amount of time?
I don't have the answer to that. Welcome to the latest episode of Commerce and Chill. I am Jessica Johnson Cope.
I'm Waleed.
Hi, Waleed.
Hey, Jess, how's it going?
Oh, all is well in the world. We are grateful because it's the season of Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. And I'm thankful the stock market has steady been given to us.
And what has the stock market been giving us?
High returns. High returns.
Well, it's interesting that you should talk about high returns because one of the team members here at Johnson Security, one of our businesses, recently asked that we cover passive and versus active income on Commerce and Chill for all of the fans and viewers out in Commerce and Chill land.
We're taking requests now for topics on the podcast.
Yes, let's take requests. So let's break down. Let's talk about the difference between passive and active income. We have a lot of people who watch the show who are entrepreneurs, but we have some people who may not be in business for themselves, but want to grow their finances, especially through investing. So tell me, what do you think is the biggest difference between passive and active?
Well, this is a loaded question because you know how I feel about passive income. I don't believe passive income exists. You know, people
Why
talk.
not?
Come on, you know, you go online or whatever. People are like, oh, you should just do this. You put your money here. It's passive income. For me, when somebody says something is passive, it means I have to do absolutely nothing, zero, nothing. I don't have to lift one finger, and then it will generate income for me on a regular basis.
Somebody might argue, though, that you just haven't found the right vehicle to generate income for you.
I don't know of any legal vehicle that I'm not saying it. Listen, I'm open. If somebody can DM me, put it in the comments. I don't know. Like, is there anything that produces income that you will do zero work and it will produce you returns for a significant amount of time?
I don't have the answer to that.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm not expecting you to answer, but I'm just saying. So when I hear people say passive income, I think they're using the word passive maybe when we should be using the word that says it requires less work than traditional means of getting income. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure you went and did some digging in Merriam-Webster on passive income. What'd you come up with?
That I did. So according to Merriam-Webster, the word passive of relating to or being business activity in which the investor does not actively participate in the generation of income.
Yeah, so the investor doesn't actively participate in the generation of income.
But see, what I like even better
I can't think of anything.
Is the definition for active in Merriam-Webster.
Hook us up.
Which is characterized by action rather than by contemplation or speculation. So just in definition alone, what I take away from active is that you're making some type of movement, you're executing, whereby if you look at the alternative passive income, you're kind of just waiting to see what happens.
Right. So if you use that definition, I would probably say, okay, there's probably some revenues of semi-passive income, some avenues, I should say, of semi-passive income. Because if I gave money to a financial institution to invest for me, I'm giving them the money and then they're doing the work and I'm kind of just monitoring it when I look at statements, but I'm still doing something because if I'm just giving them my money blindly and not checking on them, looking at statements or calling them and following what's going on in the markets, like, I don't know.
There's a little bit of a difference in giving them money blindly and not checking in. Like,
right.
So one point speaks to the ongoing role that you play in that investment. And the other, you said just blindly giving the money, that talks about the lack of information or thought in making investments. I think that those are two different things that we should really differentiate.
Okay.
Because if we take it at definitions at its face value, not actively participating in a generation of income, if you invest in a business and that business returns on your investment, then that's passive income. So say, for example, there was a business that we're not actively operating.
Right. And we invest in other businesses.
Right.
But
so by definition's sake, that's passive income.
well, for me, it's not, because those businesses that we're invested in, we're doing something. And let's think about it. If you invest in the business, what's the definition say again?
Of relating to or being business activity in which the investor does not actively participate in the generation of income.
Actively participate in the generation of income. So, are we boiling that down to be so micro to say that the investor is not doing anything on a day-to-day that in that business that causes it to generate income? Because even if we invest in other businesses, we're still involved to some extent. And in the beginning part, you have to do a lot of due diligence unless you blindly just giving up cash and being like, yeah, go ahead. Like, this sounds like you're about to save the polar bears.
You're going back to what I already differentiated.
Okay.
Investing blindly is not the same
Right.
as not being involved on a regular basis.
But if you're doing due diligence before you invest your money,
Mm-hmm.
and then after you invest it, if you go to board meetings or you're checking on the quarterly statements that they send, or you're looking at monthly statements, like, you're doing something.
That's not actively participating in the generation of income.
Well, if I look at the statements, I'm going to the board meetings and something doesn't sound, I'm going to give input to be like, hey, maybe we should try this with the business. Or they're like, oh, we're having a roadblock. I'm going to my board of directors or my board of advisors who are also invested in it. Mm-hmm. What do you suggest we do from your experience, since it's the board of directors and advisors, to get the business out of that, to help the business? So I am participating.
You're participating, but are you participating in the generation of income?
If the business is stuck,
No.
yes.
No.
If the business is stuck, I'm on the board, or I'm on the board of advisors.
That's a whole bunch of ifs.
I invest. I'm on the board of advisors. The board of directors for some businesses that we're invested in. And at the board meeting, they give the report and they're like, hey, sales are down because of X. And I look at it, the other board members, and you should do X to get those sales up. I'm participating in helping the business increase the revenue because the sales were down.
All right, Stretch Armstrong.
I'm not stretching. It's work.
That was a stretch.
It's work. I don't care. Like, any way you want to slice it, there's no such thing as passive income. I sit on the board. Unless you blindly just give your money. Espinosa comes to me and say, hey, Cope, we got this great idea how we could create content with this software.
You keep saying blindly, like, just because, like, if you do research, that means you're actively involved in generating income.
I'm saying I could.
No, that's what you are saying.
If I just get, he tells me the idea and I just give him money and I walk away. And he makes money. Is that passive?
Yes.
Okay.
If you buy a stock.
Who does that?
You do.
What, when I buy stocks?
When you buy stocks, yes.
No, I have to do work. I do research.
Doing research is not what actively generates income.
It generates the income for me.
No, it doesn't.
Wait, I have to watch.
Wait,
okay. When do you make money on a stock? Right.
You make money when you sell it.
Or you get a dividend from the stock.
Right.
Right, which we participate in both. So for me to get an income from the stock on one aspect, I have to watch it to know when to sell it so I can get the income. So I'm doing work.
No.
Okay.
You're misinterpreting.
I'm not missing the point.
You're misinterpreting the definition.
I'm not misinterpreting. Listen, Webster ain't an entrepreneur. Whoever come up with the definition, they're looking at it from a pure role of doing something. You're investing in a business. You're doing something to generate income. Again, anybody, we said it earlier, name me one business, one way of getting income where I do absolutely nothing for it to generate income for me.
So wait, just to be clear, if the stock generates income, that's not the same as the business generating income.
Okay. But either way, I'm still doing some kind of work. So we've kind of hit a wall on that one.
Yeah,
so,
we're going to have to agree to disagree because right now you're speculating. And by speculating in and of the definition itself, that's passive income.
I'm speculating. Okay.
Yes. So you do have passive income. You might try to beat your chest and say that you don't, But you do.
On what?
Stocks.
I do work for that.
You don't do work for the income.
Wait, when I hit sell to get the income, what happens?
That's
Like I had to do the work to like this. I buy the stock. Example, we had Carver. We got into Carver when it was $1.70 something or $1.60 something, right? BLM happened, and a lot of stocks and businesses of color started to pop for numerous reasons. We exited at $9 and change. I had to hit the sell button for us to exit at $9 and change, or I had to put in the order to say when it gets to this amount, exit. And then we made money off the difference between $1.70 and $9 and change.
But do you not understand that selling the stock is not the same as actively participating in the generation of income?
Well, I'm not talking about the generation of income for Carver, because Carver generating income didn't have nothing to do with us making the money. The money came from us exiting at a higher stock price.
Oh, goodness, you're twisting things now.
Okay.
I don't think that you're going to help people have a clear understanding of the difference, just because at this point you're not.
Oh, I understand the different definition.
Now because what you're giving is opinion.
Okay.
Which is cool, but just make a caveat.
Which is cool. We could put it at the bottom of the screen.
This is his opinion.
And the opinion
this is not what the fact is.
opinion that runs on social and on the net is that you can put money in these different things and do absolutely nothing and make money. And then they'll put passive income and all of it, right? So we'll say it's an opinion. I'll go with that. But it's the counteract the opinion that's being put out to say, put your money in this Shopify store, click these buttons, link it to some drop shipper, and sit back and you'll make tons of money with people buying your stuff. Mm-hmm. So I hear you when you're talking about the definition, generating the income in the business.
Because I think what's more important is to let people know what the definitions are. Now,
yeah.
You can also share with them your opinion based on what your experience has been, to say that overwhelmingly people who pursue certain types of passive income ventures
okay,
are not going to come out on a winning end, because the whole premise is flawed how they see the passive income through that business,
based on how
through
it's
that business model,
or how it's being promoted in the current culture.
right? All right,
we're getting some background information that was dug up, getting handed to us. We're gonna have to get computers in here next.
The team just shared 11 passive income ideas for wealth building.
Oh, go! Right. I got to hear this.
Somebody get the Lowry's out, because he's about to be salty. Number 1 is selling information products. So one popular strategy for passive income is establishing an information product such as an ebook or an audio or video course, and then kicking back while cash rolls in from the sale of your product. Okay,
before you go to number 2, based on your definition was not participating to generate income on a regular basis or something like that, right? In the definition of passive income.
Not actively participating in the generation of income.
Okay, so let's use number 1. Mm-hmm. I create some, I guess, ebook or something it's saying, and I put it online for people to buy. Mm-hmm. Explain to me how people are going to know about the ebook if I just put it on a website online. I do absolutely nothing to have that ebook generate me income. Impossible. I have to do some work to get backlinks, to promote it, to get it in front of people, to advertise it so people start selling it, AKA the book sales. That the venture that we're working on with the book, right? Mm-hmm. So if nobody knows about the book, except your immediate friends and family, you get your first 30 sales, then what? So I'm sorry, number 2.
Number 2 is rental income. Investing in rental properties is an effective way to earn passive income, but it often requires more work than people expect. So just again, before you get started.
I'm leaving it alone. I'm not touching it.
I see your face. So it doesn't mean that you don't do any work. It just means that you're not active on an ongoing basis.
But the other thing, this is not clear talking about what type of rental income, because you can invest in a REIT, right? Mm-hmm. Real estate investment trust, mm-hmm. that manages a portfolio, that has a portfolio of properties, and you put your money into it and you can get a return on it. Or are they talking about rental income where I buy a property and then I rent it out and then make the difference between expenses and an income?
Okay.
Right? So that's 2 different things. And it didn't sound like they were too clear on which one they were talking about, because those are 2 different types of work that needs to be done. And I'm just going to leave it at that while you go to number 3.
Number 3 is affiliate marketing. With affiliate marketing, website owners, social media influencers, or bloggers
Pyramid.
promote a third party's product by including a link to the product or on their site or social media account.
Okay. You still got to do some work there
Right, but
because you got to build a community.
But understand, doing work is not the same as actively being.
I get it, but but these things you have to, these examples,
You have to do something.
you have to be
So-
active.
No.
For affiliate marketing, if I put links in my Instagram or my blog,
And just leave it.
but if I just leave it and don't do jack, nobody sees it. Nobody goes to it. If I don't make content to drive people to that link to click on it, listen, when Amazon was first doing affiliate marketing, your boy was there. You could go to Amazon, you could take products from their website and put it on your own. You go to Amazon, you choose the products, and you could build your own web portal. And then you could drive people to it, and if they clicked on it, and they would buy stuff. And I did it. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to make money. Fucking nobody went. Why? Because the mentality that's promoted, passive, was you just put it out there and then you leave it.
And then you
Flash
drop
cover
it.
dropping. And you just leave it, right? You just leave it out there and then people will go to it. It's the same thing we talked about the other episode. We were joking. People open a business and I was like, no, it's really simple. You just open a business, you build it, they will come. You have to do something to drive the traffic to it. Sorry, the next one.
But again, doing something does not equal active involvement. All right. Active participation. Number 4, invest in a high yield CD. I dare say many young people may not even know what a CD are. Do y'all know what CDs are?
Not the ones you put in the for audio.
Mr. Volquez, you know what that is?
Certificate of
Onions?
deposit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, for money.
Yeah. It's
Oh, wait until
Like,
you
it's-
die, right?
wait until you die. Like saving bonds back in the day, they used to buy for people as kids and give them as gifts all the time. Yeah. If you take it out, it could be a penalty or blah, 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 blah.
Peer-to-peer lending. A peer-to-peer loan is a personal loan made between you and a borrower, facilitated through a third-party intermediary such as Prosper or Lending Club. Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. Like, this is really hard for me.
Dividend stocks.
But okay. Like,
You're not doing the work,
I had to research it.
but you're not actively participating in generating the income.
Yeah, but you kind of like, a good example is we use M1 Finance to build portfolios, right? If anyone's not familiar with it, look it up. You can build your own portfolio. You put any type of stocks, you can put funds in it, whatever. But you gotta monitor it because sometimes you gotta keep shifting the allocation in it so you could continue to make money. I can't just hit set it and forget it. I mean, I could.
Isn't that what my boy Warren Buffett does?
I was just about to bring him up because you was just at a thing with him yesterday and some of your other heavy hitters. But his method of getting rich is so simple. But the thing is, it takes time. And most people don't want to get rich slow. They want to get rich fast, which is why this whole passive income thing has taken on a whole new definition than the definition that you're talking about. And people have like just run with it, especially because of the internet. But go ahead.
I want to put a real asterisk before I finish these other ideas to generate passive income. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to get some insight with some other small business owners from Mr. Warren Buffett and a couple of other great CEO minds here in the United States. And Mr. Buffett, a couple of things that stood out to me about his remarks was, number one, he said he's very fortunate to have been born in this country when he was.
Oh, there's a lot of opportunity.
And
No
then-
matter what craziness goes on here, it's still a great country for opportunity, especially in business.
And he can reflect to the day he bought his first share of stock. And that one of the benefits that he has is that time is on his side. He's 90 years old and he's yet investing. Yet he's still investing.
He's still doing it.
And his business partner is 96 years old.
But it ain't passive. But go ahead.
So trust. It's not too late for you. You have opportunities, especially if you live here in the United States. So in spite of what's going on with the health system, in spite of what's going on with the economy, with Corona and COVID, take a page out of Mr. Buffett's book, invest in something, be patient, make connections, learn every day, and, hit me up and I can share some of this other insights that he had, because he was really dropping gems yesterday. Anyway, number 7, savings account. It doesn't get any more passive than putting your money in a savings account at the bank or one of the many online banks offering high yields than sitting back and watching your interest mount up. Now,
I don't even know if I would
we're
call that
in
passive.
a low, ultra low, almost negative interest rate environment.
What is
So
the saving account putting out now? Like point like 0.03,
Negative.
right? Like what?
Number 8, you mentioned REIT. REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust, which is a fancy name for a company that owns and manages real estate. REITs have a special legal structure, so they pay little or no corporate income tax if they pass along most of their income to the shareholders. So you can invest in a REIT and you can get the benefits of passive income. There are some risks there. Number 9, a bond ladder. A bond ladder is a series of bonds that mature at different times over a period of years. The staggered maturities allow you to decrease in reinvestment risk, which is the risk of tying up your money when bonds offer too low interest payments. I would suggest that you talk to a financial advisor if you consider
A bond ladder.
a bond ladder, especially with the way interest rates are going now. Number 10, rent out a room in your house.
That's real estate again.
This straightforward strategy takes advantage of space that you're probably not using anyway, and it turns into a money-making opportunity.
You see how easy they make it sound? That's not passive. Like you got to deal with some stranger in your house.
Wait, it says-
Then you got to clean up behind them. They break something.
passive.
Like
If you do allow someone to live in your space, either in your home or a home that you own where you may not live, make sure you check their references. And
Do
if
a
something
lot of-
goes wrong, better
Listen.
check yourself before you wreck
do a
yourself.
lot. Do your due diligence. Do your due
Because
diligence.
state laws vary, the laws in different municipalities vary, and you don't want to get caught out there, even though it looks like it could be very inviting.
So
Should we remember we had that employee who rented he rented a room in public housing,
and got evicted from the room. He's like he came home from work one day and all his stuff was in the hallway.
except for his computer, which they stole.
Oh yeah, that was messed up. But like yo,
He was a nice guy, but I'm like, wait, how do you sublet an apartment in public housing?
he should have did his
AKA
due
the
diligence
projects.
on them. But anyway, was that the last one that you got on that list
No,
from
and
Hamlet?
number 11.
11.
Advertise on your car. Show of hands in a room. Who has a car?
Like one hand went up in the whole
One and a
room.
half hands is up on the room. You may be able to earn some extra money by simply driving your car around town. Contact a specialized advertising agency, which will evaluate your driving habits, including where you drive and how many miles.
That's
If you're
not
a
passive.
match-
I gotta drive to advertise it, bro.
But
I'm
you be-
putting in
But
work.
you be driving anyway.
Yeah,
If
true,
you're,
but
if you're a
still,
match with one of their advertisers, the agency will wrap your car with the ads at no cost to you.
you might have to get commercial tags for that in New York. You can't be doing that without
Agencies are
commercial
looking
tags.
for
That's
newer
gonna cost you
cars,
more.
and drivers should have a clean driving record. Well, heck, from what I know of our audience, that might not be a lot of people. So
I don't know if
just
that's
some
a
different
good
ideas.
move.
I think at the end of the day, yeah. What did Mr. Buffett say? What's the quote?
Oh, he was. Well, it was what you was talking about. You had mentioned it before too. He has some quote where he's like, "If
If you don't find a way
Yeah,
to
there you
make
go.
money while you sleep, you will work until you die." But mind you, the man is 90 years old. Even while people
But
are
the
working
question
from
is-
home, he goes into the office almost every day.
But the thing is, people misinterpret the quote because if you read it, it said, "If you don't find a way to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die." And people get it twisted based on what's being put out there now, opinions and perceptions, that you're supposed to quit your job. You could point to me all day. You're supposed to quit your job and start your own business or do these things to make income. But I think what people get it twisted now is there's nothing wrong with letting your 9 to 5 pay your bills and then your investments pay for your lifestyle. So you could have a 9, like how many, like we know we have a associate who worked for the city, brought several pieces of property while working his city job 9 to 5 for X amount of years till he retired and built up a nice portfolio of properties and now is retired at a still fairly young age
it's true.
and has a portfolio of properties that produce income. But it's not passive. He do work like maintenance, repairs, renovations, buying properties, going to meet with vendors. It's work. But if you use your 9 to 5 to pay your bills and then invest in stuff and then use your investments to build your lifestyle, like why quit the 9 to 5? But you should just have a job that you like doing or you enjoy, because then it becomes a chore. But why not have multiple streams of income? Why kill one stream of income? Especially if you're not cut out to be a full-bred entrepreneur. What'd you got that look on your face for?
No, I was gonna ask you what's your best investment advice. But
It depends.
I think that might have been it though.
It depends on the individual, whether you want to be an entrepreneur or you're someone who's doing a 9 to 5 and you got a side hustle, right? I would give two pieces of advice. And this advice I would say could go across for anybody. I would say, one, do partnerships. So if you have an existing business or a side hustle, do partnerships so you can increase your brand awareness. You can increase revenue. So a good example would be 630 Sneaker Cleaning. We partner with them at the Soapbox to do sneaker cleaning. So like we work in partnership. They are exclusively into that service for sneaker cleaning. We're into the garment care, and it was a good fit. So why couldn't we expose our current clientele to an additional service, and then we both work together and make more money through offering another service on our product line? So I would look at partnerships. How can you partner up with other people or other businesses? I would invest in, you mentioned it earlier, stocks, dividends. I would look at
Dividend producing stocks.
Right. I was going to say I would first speak to someone who's a financial planner, who's certified. Like, I'm not trying to give any financial advice here, but these are things you could do to generate other streams of income. And I'm not saying they're not work. There is work to, researching the stock, buying the stock. And don't use any money that you're not willing to say, if it goes to zero tomorrow, that you can't afford to lose.
But understand, researching a stock, unless that's your job, is not the same as helping in the participation of generating income.
Well, I'm just right.
clarifying.
Yeah. I'm talking about if you're going to do it, you can't just blindly go and look at anything on, the stock exchange and be like, oh, I'm going to buy that. And then in your mind, oh, yeah, it's going to make revenue for me. Because people think, I'm willing to bet, there's a stat here that we have here that says only 55% of Americans own stocks, which I think is crazy, especially in this day and age with all the apps like Robinhood, Stockpile, and all the other ones where you could just have it on your phone and one click, you're in the game. But
that's a whole nother episode.
It is, but you should do the research. And I think too, some of it might be a little scary because the technology has made it so easy for people. Like, you download Robinhood on your phone, you link it to your bank account. You can make a trade. You can execute a trade before the money is even in your Robinhood account. Like, they will give you like a line of credit against your account until the money actually deposits into their account. And then the more you put in, the more you do, that bigger that line gets. So you can, I believe right now you can open an account on Robinhood, link your bank account, initiate a deposit, and they'll let you trade up to $500 worth of stock before your actual money hits their account.
Well, I'll say this. You may not have a Warren Buffett who'll give you advice on investing or advice on your business, but you do know someone who's been pretty smart with their money. So I encourage you to talk to your friends and family members about their investment strategies. Now, not saying that just because they talk to you that you go and you execute on those strategies, but just be knowledgeable about the different pathways to wealth, active income versus passive income, and find out what works for you. Don't be afraid to try different things. And
so should people have more than one stream of income?
Yes.
Why?
That's a whole nother episode, dude. We're out of time.